What's up, guys? It's Mike and Max here, coming to you from Move University, and we are on our way back to the office after a very productive lunch meeting, and wanted to discuss a little bit about the different types of entrepreneurships that we are going to be giving a presentation on next week, and how you can apply entrepreneurial thinking, not just to if you want to run a business, but how you can run it so that you're more effective in your workouts, in your relationships, and in your life.
Yep.
You know, so first we have to define what is an entrepreneur. And the classic definition of an entrepreneur is an employer of productivity, or a captain of enterprise, or somebody that manages risk and leads people even in times of great distress. Really a leader of companies, of people, of organizations. That is a classic entrepreneur, but you can take the mindset and the attributes of entrepreneurs, of great entrepreneurs, and apply that same level of thinking and intention to a lot of different genres of life. And Max is going to describe a little bit about the different types of entrepreneurs and how we can leverage entrepreneurial thinking to really grow ourselves as human beings, as athletes, and also as leaders.
So a lot of people believe that if they don't run a business, they don't start their own organization, that they're not an entrepreneur. Like, well, I work for somebody and I have my own typical job, I'm not an entrepreneur. That is the typical mindset. So what we want to do, we want to take a different look at it. So the other way that you can be an entrepreneur is called a social entrepreneur, or we call it socialpreneur. So these are people who begin movements. You take a look at somebody like Dr. Martin Luther King. You know, he wasn't in your typical sense an entrepreneur, but nonetheless he began something and began a movement that really shaped the way life is today on a large scale. I mean, you can even take people like Gandhi, you could take people
Mother
Teresa, another one. These are people who started huge worldwide social movements. And so if you are somebody who starts a nonprofit organization, you begin a movement of some sort, in that sense you are still an entrepreneur, because it takes all those same requirements, leadership abilities, being a maverick, being a risk taker, somebody who evaluates a circumstance and sees problems that need to be changed. And in that same sense, you are an entrepreneur. So we call those our socialpreneurs. The next way to be an entrepreneur, these are for more people who work in the regular commercial industry. So if you work for a job, you say, there's no way I can be an entrepreneur, I have a regular job, I go to work. The way that you could be an entrepreneur there is what we call an intrapreneur. This is you understanding your value, adding more value into the company, solving the company's bigger problems, getting beyond just the normal taskings of your job, but searching for problems within that job and seeing how you can create more value into that position. And this is how you actually create a position for yourself.
Yes, and Max is right. And if you look historically over time, Google, 3M Post-it notes, some really big inventions, some great innovations in the marketplace have come from intrapreneurs. These are companies that are progressive and forward thinking and learn how to leverage their talent and really empower their employees to think of themselves not as employees, but as stakeholders, as intrapreneurs, as people that have valuable talent and can give feedback and really empower them to embrace the culture and see the company as their own. And what this does is it eliminates the competition. What it does, in essence, these smart companies like Google, like 3M, like Zappos, like Apple, is when their competitors or when their employees look to Apple, they really feel like they're part of the culture, and there's no need for dissension or mistrust or anything like that. And why go reinvent the wheel? If you feel like your financial, your significance, your fulfillments can all be solved by leveraging a giant like Apple, using their resources to accomplish your body of work, why not? You know, I've been an entrepreneur all my life, since the age of 18. But the reason why I started in the fitness business and created gyms, because the gyms that I saw weren't good. They weren't solving a big enough problem, and they also weren't creating a culture like athletes have in their culture, you know, in football, in baseball, and soccer. the way athletes work out is much more passionate with a purpose than the general fitness enthusiast. And I wanted to create that same culture for the everyday athlete. It didn't exist, so I had to go do it myself, and we're going to continue to do it. But if there was a gym that allowed me to talk this way and to act this way and to build this culture, I would probably be an entrepreneur. It just didn't exist. So if you feel like, well, I still want the camaraderie and to leverage I don't want all the headaches of having to build an enterprise from scratch, think of yourself as an entrepreneur. Think of how can you add value based on your time, talent, and experience to somebody else using entrepreneurial thinking. Nonetheless, the definition of our entrepreneur is somebody that can create their own physical, mental, and social reality.
Absolutely.
It's not just somebody who makes a lot of money for themselves or creates an enterprise or an industry from scratch. That is the old way of thinking, but entrepreneurial thinking can be applied in such a broader range.
Absolutely. So what we will encourage you guys to do is start taking a look outside the box. Stop thinking about things in the practical sense of what you see it. If you really want to be a game changer, or what we call a playmaker, you have to start thinking with the entrepreneurial mindset. Start seeing the bigger problem and how can you go about solving it. That's our message from us to you. Hope you're having a great day, and we'll catch you guys later.
Thanks, guys.